Here to stay, here to fight.
Our communities and families have the right.
Here to stay, here to fight.
So no more chartered flights.
No more chartered flights.
No more chartered flights.
No more chartered flights.
We're here to stay. We're here to fight.
No more chartered flights.
We're here to stay. We're here to fight.
No more chartered flights.
Last month it came to our attention that 50 Jamaican people have been rounded up by the Home Office and were going to be forcibly removed. They were going through appeal processes, most of them. Some were seeking asylum.
We had a number of clients who were facing immigration difficulties, and by no means were they at the end of their appeal process. We were horrified to find out that the Home Office had chartered a plane in order to carry out a mass expulsion of people from the United Kingdom back to Jamaica.
These were people that were signing on and complying with Home Office requirements, signing on weekly or fortnightly, and suddenly from nowhere they were rounded up when signing on. They were taken to a detention centre outside of Heathrow in the middle of the night, and within 2 weeks of being detained, they were put on a charter plane which was unlisted, unregistered, so it couldn't be tracked, so we couldn't go there and complain to the airline. They were told that they were going to be taken out of Heathrow and were actually taken out of Stansted. These were people that had been in the UK for 10, 20 or 30 years.
From the information that we've been receiving, we understand that not everybody was legally represented. And we understand that some people had never sought advice at all, and we understand that some people had been reporting for a period of over 5 years. They were given no indication that attempts were going to be made to remove them. And so we saw individuals who went back to Jamaica even without their personal possessions.
One man had actually come with his baby in the pram, and they took the baby away and called social services. They didn't even give him a chance to call a family member to come and get the baby.
Some of them had come to the UK when they were small children, even babies, and through no fault of their own, through administrative errors, had not been naturalised when they arrived in the UK.
Naturalisation is actually a very complex area of law. It's not as simple as being here for 5 years. There are various things that the Secretary of State has. When it comes to granting British citizenship, she has ultimate power. She can say no even if there's nothing wrong with your application, because they consider British citizenship to be a privilege rather than a right.
The whole issue around that flight being called the deportation flight actually stigmatises a huge amount of people who were not the subject of deportation proceedings. They were administratively removed. Somebody that's been administratively removed is simply somebody that's come to the end of the process of attempting to remain in the United Kingdom. So they're being told, you now have to leave the UK.
This is people that have been living in the UK a long time, who've contributed to British society, have British families, and now told, you're not welcome here, you've got to leave. And horrifically, within several days of one of those people being returned to Jamaica, that person was killed within days of returning to Jamaica for the very reason they were seeking asylum in the UK.
Our friends and families have the right.
Here to stay, here to
The
fight.
Jamaican community has the right.
Here to stay, here to
The
fight.
Nigerian community has the right.
You have to stay, you have to fight.
Lyndon had been here since 1999, and his appeal process was asylum because it was dangerous for him to go back to Jamaica. His sister and her child were killed there in a robbery. Not long after, Lyndon went back for a funeral and was shot at the funeral. He then came back to England and had the bullets removed here. Lyndon has a big heart. He came into this family and loved my kids like they were his own, and included in that we brought his kids into it. There's 7 kids, 4 grandkids. I believe that if Lyndon was born in this country, he would have been diagnosed with learning difficulties. I don't feel he retains knowledge and information like the rest of us do. And I do believe that that's a lot of the reason why he ended up making the wrong choices in life. Lyndon had been convicted of a crime, so he went to prison. He done an extra 6 months in a holding centre after his conviction had finished. For 2 years he was on bail. He signed on every week at Dallas Court and he had a tag on his foot. One Tuesday morning he goes out to sign on and they held him. The solicitor was telling me they were holding him illegally because he was going through an appeal process. He gave them the copy of that appeal, they threw it in the bin. He's got diabetes, he's dependent on insulin daily, a few times a day. He's got stents in his heart. He's probably on about 20 pills a day. He's on blood pressure pills. I had to get his insulin and his tablets together, take it down to the holding centre. They took him to Morton Hall, 2.5, 3 hours away from here. The doctor there said he was too unfit to be removed to the other holding centre at Gatwick. So they waited for when there was no doctor there. They took him down to healthcare where he was attacked by 4 or 5 officers. He was beaten up, he was handcuffed and he was thrown in a van to Gatwick. When he got to Gatwick, they took him to the hospital where all his injuries were pictured. Apparently he had cuts all round his hands where he'd been handcuffed while he was being beaten. He was then kept at Gatwick Holding Centre and put on a plane within days. So there was no way of booking a visit or trying to get there to see him. On the plane he had access to a phone. I heard terrible things. I heard somebody screaming, "Murderers, murderers, are you trying to kill me? I'm British." I heard scuffling going on. I heard guards fighting. I heard Lyndon asking them and pleading with them to not put the hands round the boy's throat. They were killing him. And then they realised that there was an ongoing phone call and the phone went dead. When they're ready to take them, regardless of family, regardless of who's left behind, they just do it. And it's unfair for us. Yeah, he committed a crime, but he served his time. And in the end, they may have sent him home. But now, the way he was taken, I've got grandchildren asking where their granddad is. You know, the children are old enough to understand, but it doesn't make it any easier. It's a bit like a death.
More and more we are seeing decisions where family members are being refused leave to remain in the United Kingdom and fathers and mothers are being told that you can keep in contact with your children by Skype. You can maintain your family unit by Skype. It's bizarre.
It is a cynical, poisonous policy that the government utilise charter flights like modern day slave ships.
That's right.
To sweep up sections of our community, anyone they can get their hands on, so that they can fill a plane, so they can say, well, we got rid of some numbers.
Commercial flight, there is an opportunity to lobby the airline, and actually we've heard of cases in the past where somebody being deported has been put onto a flight, and because there are other passengers on it, they've protested on the plane and the person has been taken off.
We have represented over 5,000 Nigerian Jamaican clients over 10 years. We are still today, believe it or not, winning deportation cases. The problem with today's removals is that the government has decided that once they catch you and put you, they want to remove you that same night. If you remember, Byron Burgers worked with this institutionally racist department.
Yes.
He had a sting operation on their employees, had them arrested and put on the flight the same night without any legal representation, without any access to legal representation. Those removals and detentions were unlawful.
There is no acknowledgement and recognition of the benefits that immigration brings to the United Kingdom. Look at the education community, for instance. Look at the amount of money that comes in international fees, which hugely subsidises British students who are studying. Look at the benefit of external investment into the United Kingdom that comes from overseas. And look at the skills that comes into the United Kingdom from overseas.
If you looked at the facts and figures about migration, it benefits the UK society, it benefits the economy. Migrants to the UK tend to claim less benefits than workers that are born in the UK.
We have got an ageing population. We need immigration. We need immigration to staff our public services, to keep a working population going, to look after people when they're old. The myth they put out is people stealing our jobs, but it's the high-paid people that are able to come and go out of this country at will. They have a points-based system at the moment, which says that if you earn over a certain amount of money, you're welcome into this country.
They colonized the world. They raped those countries for everything they had. They instilled despot governments in those countries to then rule in favor of Britain. You have the right to come here because of the colonialism that happened over hundreds of years, and you can come here and immigrate, stay here, do what you want, because this country is only what it is today because of colonization, and we must never forget that.
Yes.
When the Home Office attacked,
We fight back.
when the Home Office attacked,
We fight back.
when the Home Office attacked,
We fight back.
when the Home Office attacked.
We fight back.
We're here today to say to Theresa May and this new Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, that we are going to bring the pain in relation to immigration rights to the Home Office. What we're asking for is equal rights and justice.
Yes.
That's all we're asking for, not special favours. We just want to be treated in accordance with our human rights.
We are going to march in Brixton, we're going to march in Peckham, we're going to march in the communities that are targeted by immigration raids, that are targeted because of charter flights.
We have to stick together. And I'm using this opportunity to invite every one of you to Yaswood Immigration Removal Center, where we are going to pull down the fence.
We're here to stay, we're here to fight!
No more charter flights.
We're here to stay, we're here to fight!